Hi everybody, Jason Klom here with the Comedy on Vinyl podcast, and I'm kicking my tripod. All of 2017, I'm listening to a comedy album a day to get through my collection, and some other albums that aren't in my collection, as is the case today. If you're watching this on Instagram, go to youtube.com/comedyonvinyl, subscribe there. Give us a thumbs up, whatever happens there. Subscribe to us on iTunes. I'll get that out of the way now. And follow us at Comedy on Vinyl everywhere you can at something. So today I have picked an album by Monty Python that actually I did not pick it. It was picked by an upcoming guest. Sorry about that. It's picked by an upcoming guest. It's the soundtrack to The Meaning of Life, 1983. And I had some expectations listening to it. First of all, I grew up, my experience with Monty Python is maybe a little non-traditional. I saw Holy Grail first, and then saw some of the shows, and then at some point there was a gap. I saw some of the movies in between there, but there was a gap where really all the Monty Python I was exposed to was their audio stuff, including the final ripoff in Monty Python Sings. And there are bits and pieces on both of those that come directly from Meaning of Life. In fact, the best songs on Monty Python Sings are probably from this album, from this movie, pardon me. The album itself doesn't have that much original stuff in it, which is surprising. Not most of the time, but a lot of times Monty Python will at least do interesting interstitial stuff, or as the case with the Holy Grail soundtrack, entire sketches where really it's more of a sketch album that's original. There are a few things in here where they specifically mention the record, etc., etc. The record's about to end, and they're fine. But I think the thing is that there's so much good music in this that it holds up as its own record. And it was a lot of fun to listen to. And it was mostly just singing along with, and it did feel like I was mostly listening to Monty Python Sings, but it was also kind of cool seeing how well some of the Meaning of Life sketches play in audio form, and the ones that they pick do. They're good select bits from the whole film. There's not much that you really have to try too hard to figure out what's going on, especially if you've seen the film, of course. But good differentiation in character voices. The sound effects are solid enough. You're going to hear the production value, which is kind of great. And yeah, it's a ton of fun to listen to. In a few weeks, you'll hear me talk in a little more detail about this album. The reason I'm not holding it up again, I think I mentioned I had to listen to it digitally, is that an upcoming guest picked it. This guest, I cannot say their name yet, just in case something happens, but I will say they're a second guest from the cast of Mystery Science Theater 3000. And he picked this album, and I'm very excited to talk about it in detail with him and see, maybe he heard the album first. I'm always interested to see if somebody heard the album before they saw the movie. I've had that experience with a lot of different things. And those are the kind of things we talk about on the podcast. It's not just, isn't it fun to hold a record and isn't the sound warm? I understand, everybody. That's the fun joke about vinyl. That's about it for this week. Made this one, or this week, if only. Made this a quick one. Tried to. Follow us at Stolen Dress as well. Go to stolendress.com. Also, sometime this month, there is supposed to be a new drinking game. I'm in a show every month, almost every month. This January was an exception, called A Drinking Game, where we do 80s movies. We drink, the audience drinks, we dress up, and we do a stage reading of usually 80s movies, sometimes 90s movies, but audience favorites. And I tend to be in them doing voices. I was originally, the first one that I ever did, I was Wallace Shawn in A Princess Bride, as well as Count Rugen. And that's what I do. I've since been Marty McFly. I've been Principal Rooney. I've been Garth Algar, Scott Pilgrim. That's sometimes we do newer ones. But like I said, mostly 80s and 90s. And I don't know what the movie's going to be, but it's exciting. You can see it here in Los Angeles. I don't know if it's going to be in North Hollywood or Hollywood, but very likely at the Acme Theater. But you can go to Facebook and look up A Drinking Game. Very easy to find. There's also a New York City version and a Minneapolis version, but the one you want to come see with me is the one here in LA, the original one. So come check it out. Go to adrinkinggame.com too for tickets. That's about it. Hope you like this. Check out that album. It's definitely worth it. All the Monty Python albums are worth listening to. There we go. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a good thing.